hallway breathes like a cathedral lung. Frames on the wall where the old songs hung. Carpet remembers every careful shoe. Piano at the far end holding something true. One chair waits where the moonlight falls, like a verdict that forgives these walls. I walk without hurry, counting it all. Every quiet of thunder I refuse to call. I kept a kingdom with a borrowed hush, turned storms to wages and rage to brush. Names like land and some bright, some thin, mercy sewn under a suit made of sin. I learned the cost of an honest delay, how to buy dawn from a ruin of day. The city grew gentler when the noise grew small. Now it's just me and the chair in the hall. I don't need guards for the breath I keep. Truth walks beside me like a child in sleep. The portraits lean close as if to recall how a man can be crowned without raising a wall. Count to 4 while the echoes learn. Let the old brass soften and the strings return. If power asks what it's for at all, say to set down the weight when the night grows tall. Oh, here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, bag like a call. I sit with the quiet I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in the chair at the end of the hall. The floorboards confess where the years walked slow, where boys became men and learned how to know. A glass on the table holds yesterday's rain. I raise it to absences that lessened our pain. The velvet trigger, the silent room, the table of names, the whiskey gloom. All of them stitched in a single line, thread of restraint through a darker design. If glory is heat that forgets to heal, let legacy be the cool of steel. I don't need statues to make me tall. I measure my height by who didn't fall. Breathe through the hinge as the door unlearns. Let the lamb write gold on the lessons that burn. If peace is a tax that the restless pay, I've paid it nightly in a measured way. Here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, bag like a call. I sit with the quiet I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in the chair at the end of the hall. She steps from the shadow with smoke in her hair. A sermon of patience, a long steady stare. Says, tell me what kings keep under the skin. I say a ledger of moments they didn't give in. The mercy they chose when the math said no. A door they unlocked so a boy could grow. The letter they wrote and never sent. The anger they folded and let relent. She nods like a clock that forgives the time. Writes my answer, indeed mine a rhyme. And sit, she whispers, let silence enthrall. Wear nothing but truth in that chair at the hall. Count to 4 till the breath turns round. Let the bass place roots in the ground. If love is a law with a gentler drawl, it's signed in the chair at the end of the hall. Here's a chair at the end of the hall. Wood like a witness, bag like a call. I sit with the quiet I taught to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in the chair at the end of the hall. Bring me the nights I return, still armed. Teach my hands the grace of discern. Bring me the names I carried like stone. Let the stone feel lighter, finally alone. Bring me the roads I refuse to flood. Let justice be water, not blood. Bring me the throne made only of choice, where law is a breath and mercy a voice. If endings are crowns that quietly fall, place it in wood, the chair at the end of the hall. No witness, no noise, only the hum of a measured poise. Count to 4, close the door. Yeah. Yeah. A soldier's coat hangs where the light turns thin, sleeves like prayers for the places he's been. I promised his mother I'd guard his name, kept it unbroken through profit and blame. A rival's grin, lips faint in a frame, softened by time, renamed by the same. I learned that victory, smaller and sure, outlives a triumph that dies immature. So I chose to fix over televised fire, build quiet ladders from honest wire. If someone asks where the empire is drawn, point at the windows that survive the dawn. Let the strings bow low, then rise. Let the brass breathe truth without disguise. If fate takes notes while the footsteps fall, it writes them here at the end of the hall. Here's a chair at the end of the hall, wood like a witness, back like a call. I sit with a quiet, I talk to stand. Lay down the crown in an open hand. No trumpets needed, no banners to fall. I earn my rest in a chair at the end of the hall. Men's on the old breathe slow and thin. Pianos be like a faraway band. Streams mean end till the night goes wet. That's bows out with a timber prayer.
Morning, morning sits warm on a faithful chair. Piano breath rise easier. Cup in my hand, a scar on the rim. I toast the burdens that taught me to swim. Not every way was an enemy. Some held me up, some loved me. I used to curse the stone I hauled, swore at the sky like the blame it called. Held my jaw like a rusted clam, burned my name into every lamp. Then one long winter showed me slow how steady shoulders make rivers grow. I learned to breathe beneath the load, count my steps, repair the road. A boy with fury, a man with hands. I traded thunder for honest plans. The spine I earned from agony became the weight that loved me. Count to 4 with ribs not raised. Let breathe uncreates the pain. If yesterday begs for injury, say thank you, stone, you carried me. This is the way that loved me. It pressed me down to rise. It taught my knees the country, put daylight in my eyes. No crown could do what Burden did, no speech can name this sea. I found a stronger mercy in the weight that loved me. The door once stuck where my temper lived. I pushed and kicked what an inch forgives. Later I learned the drop of oil, the gentle truth that saves the soil. I held a friend through his midnight ache, let grief speak floods until it broke. We didn't dam it with clever talk, we kept the lamps and took the walk. Some weights are names you refuse to drop, a vow you keep at the quiet shop. Hold steady here, make bread, pour tea, let ordinary carry me. Breathe on floor, let strain lean low, let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns like a debtor's plea, tell it kindness carried me. This is the weight that loved me. It pressed me down to rise. It taught my knees the country, put daylight in my eyes. No crown could do what Burden did, no speech could name this sea. I found a stronger mercy in the weight that loved me. I wore a suit that cost me sleep, silk on the surface, the lining cheap. It taught me how a shine can lie, how fabric's strange when rooms run dry. I hung it up beside my rage, watched both grow small with age. Now denim true than linen calm, hold me closer than any song. The bills are paid, the debts are owed, the promises I hauled like road. Didn't drown, they discipled me, cut keys to doors I couldn't see. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure, let quiet be strong and good be pure. If memory asks who set me free, say Burden tune the key. This is the weight that loved me. It pressed me down to rise. It taught my knees the country, put daylight in my eyes. No crown could do what Burden did, no speech could name this sea. I found a stronger mercy in the weight that loved me. Bring me the stones I threw at night, I'll build a heart that keeps us light. Bring me the names I lifted wrong, I'll sing them slow inside this song. Bring me the locks I forced for show, I'll lower them now and let them go. Let slide guitar bend once then rest, let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a neon clang, feed it bread and call it plain. If power asks what love can be, a weight you share, not just a key. Say less, stand true, count to 4, come through. I met a widow on Market Street, carried her bags through summer heat. She didn't cry, she didn't preach, just split the load in equal reach. We walked 3 blocks like a small parade, a chorus built of what hands laid. She said, I thought I'd break in two. I said, not now, look, me and you. I learned that love is not a blaze, it's cooler light on longer days. The heaviest kindness quietly comes a weight that loves me. Hold that fork, let the rim click, pray, let mercy shine today. If thunder begs for history, let burdens write the victory. This is the weight that loves me. It pressed me down to rise. It taught my knees a country, put daylight in my eyes. No crown could do what burden did, no speech could name this sea. I found a stronger mercy in the weight that loves me. But now I walk slow on the neighborhood line, porch lamps hum. Door shuts off like a verdict done. Dusk glows gold where the lowlights run. No clock ticks, no breath too loud, just breathing bass beneath the shroud. Whiskey hums rules no tongue can name, and silence wears a tailored frame. One nod, one glance, the whole room bends. Power begins where volume ends. Men chase thunder till they lose their feet. The quiet crowns never taste defeat. I build my throne with folded noise, train my hands to handle poise. Every sigh's a contract sign, every stare a boundary line. They speak in rush, I move in wait. Patience my slowest state. The map on the wall bleeds in shade, every block a promise paid. I rule by pulse, by pace, by tune, by the rhythm of the silent room. Count to 4 before you speak. Let your breath dress iron sleep. Truth is a blade that hides its bloom. That's the first law of the silent room. These are the laws of the silent. No shout, no glare, no borrowed broom. Stillness cuts where anger fumes, and kings are crowned in the silence. If thunder's needed, sell it soon. Buy your peace from the hush of the room. Rule 1, don't trade time for pride. Keep patience sharp, wear it inside. Rule 2, forgive once, not twice. Mercy cheap is mercy's vice. Rule 3, never speak to fill the space. Let silence show your face. Rule 4, if rage must knock, feed it calm, change its clock. Rule 5, loyalty sings best unheard. One look replaces 1,000 words. She sat across, smoke in her hair, eyes like riddles that knew I'd stare. Tell me, boss, what buys your calm? Time. Time, I said, and a steady palm. Time. She smiled, a spark that begged for flame. I smiled back, but kept the aim. Do your laws forgive? She sighed. fell slow, verdict divine. Silence spoke the word aligned. Breathe in, forth, hold the floor. Let the snare hum a truce war. If words can kill, then peace can grow. That's the creed of the silent room. These are the laws of the silent room. No shout, no glare, no borrowed boom. Stillness cuts where anger fumes, and kings are crowned in the silent room. Bring me oaths that don't need sound. Bring me grace that walks unbound. Let brass eyes slow like a sinner's tune. Let the strings confess to the moon. If power must breathe, it should breathe light, cool and constant through the night. You don't win wars, you let them fade. That's how a dynasty's made. Patience counts coins no bank can weigh. Collects respect, the loud repay. Silence ain't empty, it's earned. Every pause is something learned. A boy once came with a lot of men. Voice too quick, knees that bend. Boss, he said, I talk too proud. I said, then learn to speak out loud. Only when your heart's in tune, else you pay with ruin soon. He nodded slow, his fear went thin, and left a man instead of sin. The woman smiled, glass half low. Your peace, she said, still bleeds control. I said, control's not cold, it's kind. It saves what chaos leaves behind. We shared the quiet like a prayer. Each sip a lesson, stripped and bare. Count to 4, don't break the chain. Let rhythm wash away the pain. If thunder's proud, then quiet's groom. Bow your head to the silent room. These are the laws of the silent room. No shout, no glare, no borrowed boom. Stillness cuts where anger fumes, and kings are crowned in the silent. If funds needed, sell it soon. Buy your peace from the hush of the room. Who rules the night with unseen tune? The man who breathes in the silence. Who bends fate without custom? The hand that goes.
Rain don't stop for a guilty man. It falls the same, it just don't land. The glass still shakes when the night gets loud. The past still stands where I once vowed. The whiskey hums, the soul debates between the door of love and fate. And the night she knows mercy came too late. I built my walls from pride and smoke, watched her drown in every joke. She begged for warmth, I gave her cold. caught his strength, but it was old. Now I drink in rooms she used to like. Her laughter gone, but the ghost still bites. And though I pray, I hesitate, mercy came too late. The mirror don't lie, it just reflects. The wreckage love can't resurrect. Her scent still walks these hollow halls. Soft as grace, hard as walls. I said her name, it hurt to speak, like prayer from lips that turn to weep. Each word I whisper seals my fate. Mercy came too late. No preacher saves a stubborn heart when it's too proud to restart. You can beg the sky, you can fight the flame, but forgiveness don't wear your name. The truth don't chase, it just waits. It stands beside your slow mistakes. And when it knocks, you hesitate. Mercy came too late. So pour one for the man who saw too clear when the light was gone, not when it was near. He laughs soft, tries to meditate, but mercy came too late. It hums like sorrow through his veins, a quiet echo that still remains. He ain't seeking grace, just fate, 'cause mercy came too late. I wrote her name on an envelope, but the ink ran wild with no hope. The words said sorry, but they bled. Each line I wrote just filled with dread. The wind took it from my hand, like time too cruel to understand. The sky turned black, the soul sedate. Mercy came too late. I stood outside the church she loved, watch candles flicker like the ones above. The pews were empty, the choir was gone, but the silence still sang a favorite song. I left one rose on the 7th seat, the one where she rests her feet. And though I whispered through the gate, mercy came too late. In the mirror, don't pray no more. He's tired of knocking on closed doors. He says, son, you had the chance, the time. You turned love's rhythm into rhyme. Now the blues don't punish, it reminds that guilt's a friend to broken mind. You can't rewrite what sealed your fate. Mercy came too late. I felt her touch in a dream last night, soft as sin, gone by light. She said, I forgive, but not for you. It's just what dead hearts learn to do. I woke with tears I couldn't hide, like ghosts that won't step aside. Each breath I take, each step I wait, mercy came too late. Pour one for the man who don't belong, who hums a name through every song. He still prays low, but heaven's gate mercy came too late. Raise that glass to what's been lost, to every heart that knows the cause. No pardon left to reinstate. Mercy came too late. Smoke rose thick, the tone breathes deep. Forgiveness watches, but it won't weep. I play her tune on broken strings. Each note confesses, each silence stings. The blues don't lie, it just translates. Every wound mercy can't sedate. And in the hush I resonate. Mercy came too late. I ain't holy, I ain't pure, but I walk roads I can't endure. If heaven waits, it waits in vain. For men like me, don't change the chain. I breathe in guilt, I exhalate. Still hope and peace, won't hesitate. But when I look, the truth's innate. Mercy came too late. Ain't no choir to cleanse my soul, just the hum of blues. D minor dawn inside a quiet frame. Steam writes cursive on the window pane. Chair takes breath, floor keeps time. Kettle hums a single line. I touch the knob, the breath's the same. Even if I go, the room still knows my name. I left my thunder on the porch swing rail, hung up proof like a retired tale. Kept only tools that mend and stay, an oiled hinge, a lighter day. There's sawdust in the afternoon, a stray blue nail like a small old moon. Every corner keeps the gentler aim to hold a man and not his fame. I've spoken softer than I came, and when I leave, the room will say my name. Count to 4 with the ribs, not pride. Let breath be the long, clear guide. If memory knocks like a neon claim, smile once and let the room say your name. The room still knows my name in wood and light and grain. It keeps my weight without a stain. It sings me home through ordinary rain. No trumpet needs to frame the lesson or the flame. I could be gone, but here remains a room that knows my name. The sink remembers how I prayed, not with words, but cups I made. Porcelain, patience, soap and dawn, rinsing the iron from what I'd worn. The table bears a kind of scar where bread was split and peace set down. A letter folded near the jar your hinge holds well. We keep
trumpet sound. The clock leans back, decides to stay. Time walks barefoot through the day. I stand more still than when I came, and hear the room repeat my name. Breathe on, fall, let strings lean low. Let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns for a final game, pour tea, let the room say your name. The room still knows my name, in wood and light and grain. It keeps my weight without a stain. It sings me home through ordinary rain. No trumpet needs to frame the lesson or the flame. I could be gone, but here remains a room that knows my name. A coat on the hook with a quiet wrist, lined with apologies I almost missed. I pull it close, it warms the bone. A map to places I've outgrown. I listen for the houses I've repaired, porches breathing, hinges spared, chairs that learned a softer ground, doors that open, voices round. The neighborhood hums a gentle claim. We recognize each other's names. But if I drift beyond this street, the floorboards keep my measured feet. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If thunder begs for brighter blame, turn down the lamp, let the room speak your name. The room still knows my name, in wood and grain. It keeps my way without a stain. It sings me home through ordinary rain. No trumpet needs to frame the lesson or the flame. I could be gone, but here remains a room that knows my name. Bring me the locks I forced for show. I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I said too hard, I'll say them soft in the backyard. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let guitar bend once, then rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants one last acclaim, point at the chair that knows my name. Say let's stand plain. Count to 4, remain. A widow's thank you on the sill, 3 words steady as a hill. Fence still stands, that's all she wrote, enough to keep a man afloat. 2 kids outside rehearse their breaks, hockey stars and second takes. Their mother laughs, the streets agree. Their some go warm and peace sustain. Harsh to hum, some of clean. What was the gun this spring? Cooper and me. Vienna rolls Steve of the closing fire, strains my rose and where to find. Hand it a lamp, let the room say your name. The room still knows my name, in wood and light and grain. It keeps my way without a stain. It sings me home through ordinary rain. Broken hum low, like a hallway prayer. Brass holds its breath in the chandelier air. Snare taps once, an oath on the skin. Upright bass counts everywhere I've been. Men line up like shadows in a pew, hats in their hands like something they knew. Tonight we tied in a different church, where loyalty pays and the faithful purge. They say a legion is a velvet chain, looks like gold, tight like rain. You wear it proud till it bites your throat. You kiss the ring while you sign the note. The room knows names that the city won't speak, where strong men kneel to keep the weak. A look from me says clock's too slow. I lift up my glass, says yes or no. I didn't climb shouting on a borrowed stair. I moved like smoke and made men care. I kept my rage folded, iron thin, saved it for days when the odds won't spin. But every covenant carries a fee, the part of you can't set free. I ask for loyalty, nothing less, and pay it back in carefulness. Count to 4, keep the blade unseen. Let the hush stay sharp and clean. If a promise has weight, let the bones agree. Every yes costs part of me. This is the price of obedience. Gold on the wrist, ghosts in the vents. You keep your word till your word keeps you, and the bill comes due when the night turns blue. I bless my man with a steady hand, hold their fear like a wedding band. We don't buy thunder, we lease the sky. Pay with silence and never ask why. A soldier steps forward, jaw tied tight, eyes like a bridge between wrong and right. Says, boss, I stood where you told me stand, held my breath, did not raise hand. But my brother fell when I spared a fool. Mercy was warm, the world was cruel. I answer slow, you did what's mine. Obedience first, revenge in line. Your grief is a ledger I sign tonight. You'll have your due when the time turns right. He nods like a bell that refuses to ring. We both swallow iron and call it a thing. I've learned that guidance is a narrow street, where every mile rubs faith on your feet. You carry the men or you let them drown. Either way, the weight is a crown. Count to 4 while the organ moans. Let the snare write truth on bones. If duty aches like a winter bloom, hold one breath for the silent room. This is the price of obedience. Gold on the wrist, ghosts in the vents. You keep your word till your word keeps you, and the bill comes due when the night turns blue. I bless my man with a steady hand, hold their fear like a wedding band. We don't buy thunder, we lease the sky. Pay with silence
picture etched on the backroom door. Take orders clean, or don't take more. A choir of jackets hangs and waits, elbows polished by patient fates. She slips from the shadow with chapel eyes, smells like the truth in a perfect disguise. Says, tell me, king, what your crown can't hide. I say the cost of the faith on my side. Every nod I give is a cut I keep. I send men walking and I lose my sleep. I trade my tenderness coin by coin, make a rosary out of what I join. She touches my cup like a chalice rim. Here's the hymn I won't let brim. This power of mercy, she asks the throne. It is if the guilty walk home alone. Horn size low like a priest grown tired. Snare brushes ash from a night rewired. Count to 4, let the verdict land. Steel in the throat, silk in the hand. Count to 4, let the verdict land. Steel in the throat, silk in the hand. If love and duty must collide, let duty walk and love abide. This is the price of obedience. Gold on the wrist, ghost in the vents. You keep your word till your word keeps you, and the bill comes due when the night turns blue. I bless my man with a steady hand. Hold their feet like a wedding band. We don't buy thunder, we lease the sky. Pay with silence and never ask why. Bring me the vow that outlives fear. Bring me the hour I can engineer. Bring me the name. The whiskey burns, but it don't clean. I've outlived enemies, outlasted friends. The mirror grinned with a borrowed face, a ghost of pride, a hollow grave. The smoke don't rise, it just abides between my truth and what hides inside. In the night she smirked, she seen my vice, the man I buried twice. I buried him young with charm and fire. Thought ambition could take me high. I wore his name like a velvet lie. Smiled to strangers, let the real one die. The crowd applauded, the world agreed, but all they saw was my disease. And though a breeze, I cut his ties. The man I buried twice. He came back slow through empty rooms and whispered smoke and unpaid tunes. I heard him hum through my guitar, a voice too close, a wound too far. He said, you built the dream but lost the soul. You played the part but paid the toll. I poured a drink, looked in his eyes. No preacher saved what I became, just echoes whispering my name. You can trade your youth for gold and fame, but you can't cheat loss, it's the same old game. The blues don't heal, it just implies that truth's a debt the soul supplies. And when I pray, I hear his sighs, the man I buried twice. So pour one for the man beneath the skin, the one I killed to let me win. He laughs low, a haunting vice. Yeah, the man I buried twice. He hums my songs in shadow rhyme, keeps my guilt in perfect time. I ain't seeking peace or paradise, just a man I buried twice. The glass don't lie, it cracks instead. Every line's a thing I said, each wrinkle hums a quiet sin of who I was and could have been. I tried to run, I tried to hide, but he walks with me side by side, and every silence redefined the man I buried twice. I tell the night my secret crime, that I stole my truth to buy some time. I traded love for a louder cheer, and all that's left is the man right here. He don't blame, he just observes the hollow life my pride deserves. And though I breathe, I pay the price to the man I buried twice. The man in the mirror grins in gray, says you're still me, you just decay. He don't shout, he don't curse my name, he says we're both just built from blame. He lights a smoke, says let's be clear, you're still the reason I'm still here. And as the blues repeats its advice, he smiles, the man I buried twice. He said I watched you drown in golden fame, watched you chase pride, forget your name. I tried to warn, but you wouldn't hear. Now you're the ghost that I revere. I asked him, low, can I return? He said no flame proclaims its burn. I close my eyes, roll my dice with a man I buried twice. Pour one for the man who lost his soul, who paid his dues but not his toll. He still hums low through fire and ice. Yeah, the man I buried twice. Raise your glass to the ones who fall, to the proud who build their own downfall. No redemption, just advice from the man I buried twice. Curls high, the truth unfolds. The blues don't age, it just grows old. Each note I bend bleeds something true of who I was, of who I knew. The room falls still, the air precise. It echoes the man I buried twice. And in that hush, no faith, no lies, just the man I buried twice. I ain't holy, I ain't right. Counter's cold cup gone thin. Steam left early won't come again. Neon blinks like a tired hymn. Door sighs once, then forgives the wind. Sun edges in with a hesitant nod. I drink with ghosts and quiet gods. I used to wake with the sirens playing, chasing a storm like a younger man. Now I count spoons in a vacant den, silver that learned how to listen within. The clock licks minutes off the wall, a gentle thief who knows it all. I learned to hold what doesn't bruise, to keep one truth and let others lose. The street outside ties up its hair, morning sprayed on an honest stare. I stir the cup though the warmth is gone, habit that believes the dawn. Count to 4 with the ribs, not pride. Let breathe decide what words won't ride. If thunder asks for a second shot, tell it, not today, I'm better soft. Cold coffee and quiet guys. Let breathe decide what words won't ride. If thunder asks for a second shot, tell it, not today, I'm better soft. Cold coffee and quiet guys. It's breakfast for the scarred and hard. No choir needed, no king's facade, just a chair that holds my flawed. I lift the cup to the day I got, to every fire I chose not. There's a photo curled on the bulletin cork, a younger grin with a rusted fork. He thought the world was a door to force. I taught him hinges in the patient course. I used to love like a smuggled flame, too bright to hold, too quick to name. Now love is water in a steady jar, tastes like distance, drinks like stars. Sparrow pecks at the window's doubt, small brave heart on a crosstown route. It looks like truth without applause, a perfect rule with kinder laws. Breathe on full till the bases stay, let the snare brush sweep away. If yesterday knocks with its louder fraud, serve it cold coffee and quiet gods. Cold coffee and quiet gods. I eat my peace in smaller odds. With thunder begged, I'm counting sods. Seeds I planted, flaws and clods. I bless the hours the city trods, and sip with ghosts and quiet gods. The waitress writes mercy on a receipt line, be well in ink like a slow design. She says my name like she stores the sound, a coin that comes back double round. I tip her truth, not pity's grin, for the night she's paid in noise and sin. We share a nod that could feed a town, a humble yes, it sets cups down. Outside a bus exhales its dread, men board softer than what they said. I used to measure by who knelt fast, now I measure by who lets pass. Count to 4, let the piano wait, one note hanging like a held out gate. If pride returns with a metal rod, bend it back with quiet gods.
coffee and quiet gods, sermon and steam that memory loves. No miracle here, no stacked applause, just decent breath and gentler claws. If grace is real, it minds the sods where roots drink deep with quiet gods. Bring me the letters I never sent, bring me the vows I kept in rent, bring me the locks that learned my hand, bring me the miles that didn't demand. Let the guitar bend where courage heals, let the bass speak truths the mouth conceals. If peace is priced in smaller ways, I'll pay in pauses and honest days. Say less, mean more, hold breath, count 4. A man in a booth folds yesterday's news, wrings out the ink for softer views. He nods at me like a weathered oath, where strangers sworn to the same slow growth. 2 kids trade marbles near the door, biggest planets on a cleaner floor. They share, they argue, then split the sky. Tiny treaties that learn how to try. I taste the bitter that won't turn sweet, a lesson poured with grief and meat. Cold coffee's honest, it doesn't pretend, it stays what it is to the very end. Breathe on full, let the window glow, let morning shine where the thin lights go. If rage requests is crimson rods, I answer flat, I'm with the gods. Cold coffee and quiet gods, I lay my wars in uncut sods. No crown to polish, no iron prod, just steady hands and softer odds. If legacy asks for polished nods, I'll point to steam and quiet gods. There's a church across from the grocery store, spills hymns and coupons under the door. A mother counts change with her prayers, brave math, chooses milk and keeps her path. I've bought 1,000 thunderquares, but mercy taught me better maps. Now when a line divides my mind, I draw a bridge and leave it kind. The ghosts that used to own my lungs hum a lower, humbler tongues. They're not gone, we've made a truce. They watch me choose what I refuse. Hold that photo, the heart beats clean. Let the string silo like evergreen. If the night returns with brass applause, I pour it down for quiet gods. Cold coffee and quiet gods, breakfast with the honest squads.
The glass stays still while the room leans in. Your shadow breathes where you begin. The bass walks slow, the air turns wide. I hear the storm in the fire you hide. A match unstruck, a coil of heat. The snare taps vows beneath your feet. And the night she waits, eyes open wide, to watch you guard the fire you hide. You wear your comb like a tale of truth, a seasoned grace that outgrows youth. No sharpened word, no reckless swing,
just silence set like a steady rain. Your hands don't twitch, your eyes don't plead. You let the room learn what you mean. The crowd grows careful, side to side. They feel the heat in the fire you hide. A cufflink shines like a practice star, a tiny signal for who you are. The organ whispers a velvet thread, a warning soft as a prayer unsaid. No fevered breath betrays your flame, no lifted chin to shout your name. But I can hear the thunder ride, a horse made quiet by the fire you hide. Ain't no preacher blessing this control. You learn to losing what you stole. You bank the blazing iron jars. You steer by silence, not by stars. You count to 10, let pride subside. Let ash turn coal and coal abide. And when the world demands your side, you show them all the fire you hide. So pour one for the man who never shout, whose steady pulse dissolves the doubt. He laughs low, won't break the tide. He moves the night with fire he hides. It hums like steel, it warms like wine, a sovereign heat with no headline. I ain't begging fate to guide, I lead with all the fire I hide. She finds your gaze and tests the frame, a curious spark that wants a name. You tilt your glass, refuse the chase. You let her learn the shape of grace. The bass grows thick, the chatter fades. A hush collects like midnight breeze. She leans toward the darker side, drawn by the gravity you hide. You learn to fold your anger neat, to iron heat with measured beat, to close the fist without the blow, to make the storm decide to slow, to turn the fuse into a threat, to bank the flame without a debt, to let the hunger be a guide, to keep clean, righteous fire you hide. The man in the mirror lifts his brow, says, boy, I see, you've learned it now. It ain't the road that rules the room, it's how you breathe, how long you bloom. No blade to wave, no brittle pride, just heat with no one else to ride. He taps the glass and seems to glide. You're crowned by all the fire you hide. A murmur builds from jealous throats, a little storm that swells and floats. They test your edge, they court your name, they bait your pulse to brighter flame. You raise one hand and inch at best, the riot crawls back in its chest. The snare assumes its faithful stride, obedient to the fire you hide. Pour one for the man who holds his ground, who slows the storm without a sound. He hums low, lets truth decide. He bends the night with fire he hides. Raise your glass to iron grace, to eyes that hush a crowded place. No run, no blade, no careless pride, just sovereign kept clean fire he hides. A single note becomes a road, a hush becomes the strongest code. The hammer breathes a chapel tone, the floorboards vow you're not alone. A wrinkled thread beneath the tide, a furnace built but kept inside. The room leans in, the sparks divide. They learn to trust the fire you hide. And I ain't holy, softly outgrew aimless flame. I spend my sparks where they belong. I buy my peace with measured strong. I keep my fury polished, healed, a blade that never leaves a shield. And when the loud ones wanna guide, I show the path by fire I hide. Ain't no choir singing this restraint, no trumpet for the patient saint. The proof is how the lightning waits, how even darkness hesitates. You want the key, reduce the stride, let walk grow wise and heat reside. And when the world pulls either side, stand still inside the fire you hide. So pour for the silent fuel, whose quiet tells of what's true. He laughs slow, lets time beside. He moves the dark with fiery eyes, the joy of fire and a reckless ride. Just breathe a note and temper pride. And when the fate remember tide, my crown was in the fire. The shady routes of this is coasting in, and can't go back from the different. I was watched gas tells convinced the street, and driving single, I whispered and fit the street. Couldn't find.
Lamb hangs low like a moon in chains. Dust rise halos over wood grain veins. I pull out a chair that remembers my way. Lay down a ledger and a patient fate. Trumpet far off, rainy the pains. Tonight we dine with a table of names. Oh, cold secrets a church won't keep. Grooves like scars where the vows ran deep. This coffee ring shaped like unclosed loops. Cigarette constellations of old troops. Some names shine like a clean brass rail. Some look back with a county jail pale. I trace with a finger the ones who stayed, the ones who folded, the debts I paid. A city is made of the hands that live, a mercy in pockets of careful drift. I didn't build empires with a marching band. I built them slow with a quieter hand. The bass underfoot hums low and claims. Power remembers at the table of names. Count to 4 before you speak. Let the snare ride long cheek. Ink may fade and ash may stain, but a kept oath never leaves the grain. Raise a glass to the table of names, to brothers of light and sisters of flames, to the ones who ran and the ones who came, to the lost and the loyal who bled the same. If crowns are heavy and glory maims, we rest the weight on the table of names. Here's Angelo, steady as winter steel. Never took more than a man could feel. Here's Rosa the saint with a gambler's eye. Saved 3 boys and refused the sky. Here's Vito who lied like a choir boy's hymn. Sweet on the tongue with a knife in the rim. I bought him grace on a Sunday night. Sold him the truth when he asked for light. And here's a blank where a friend should be, the ghost of a promise that outlived me. Some names I whisper so they don't wake pain. Some I pronounce like a gentle rain. If legacy's a legend nobody owns, we're all signatures on borrowed bones. The organ breathes softly like old remains. I turn a page at the table of names. Count to 4, keep shoulders square. Let memory sit in the head of the chair. A king is a clerk when the night explains. All power kneels at the table of names. Raise Raise a glass to the table of names, to brothers of light and sisters of flames, to the ones who ran and the ones who came, the lost and the loyal who bled the same. If crowns are heavy and glory maims, we rest the weight on the table of names. A waitress turned widow writes notes in the margin, small clean letters like a private pardon. She circles a date when the docks went dark, when sirens learned a funeral's lark. I fold a bill under a sorrow's plate, not to erase, just to mediate. A soldier I raised from a street with no father, left his rage here and grew up farther. He learned that thunder is easy to sell, but quiet keeps the city well. Another page, ink bleeds like wine, where loyalty tilted on a crooked line. I forgave once where twice would kill. I held the door when mercy stood still. No angels here, no perfect claims, just men tuned low at the table of names. Count to four, give grief a chair, let brass eye soft in the open air. If truth is heavy, don't shift the frame, hold steady now at the table of names. Raise a glass to the table of names, to brothers of light and sisters of flames, to the ones who ran and the ones who came, the lost and the loyal who bled the same. If crowns are heavy and glory maims, we rest the weight on the table of names. Bring me the ink that outlasts rain, bring me the hands that ease a stain, bring me the night I should have stayed, bring me the bill I never paid, bring me the doors I closed too soon, bring me the favors I called a boon. Let the guitar bend like a vow that bends, let the organ count on better ends. If legacy's a candle that knows our shame, we hold the flame at the table named. Write slow, breathe true, say less pay do. A traitor returns as a father of two, holds out a hand like a debt that grew. He asks for work, not a pardon's kiss. I give him routes where the edges miss. Now mercy blind, not judgment wild. A safer street for a safer child. A widow brings roses for the men who fell, says nothing, her silence rings the bell. The room takes note like a notary sky. Even the shadows forget to lie. I learned to bless without losing a blade, to ask of the storm what calm this paid. I signed 3 lines and refuse 1 war, approve 1 truce and forgive 1 score. The pen feels warm in a colder hand. Some laws you keep just because you can. Count to 4, let the pages rest, lay your ear on a table's chest. If the past still beats and the present aims, we pause together at the table of names. Raise a glass to the table of names, to brothers of light and sisters of flames, to the ones who ran and the ones who came, the lost and the loyal who bled the same. If crowns are heavy and glory maims, we rest the weight on the table of names. D minor dawn on a window pane. Kettle speaks low like a patient vein. Dust writes mercy where morning grew. I touch the sill, the light, the brew, and breathe it in like something new. When all that's left of me is quiet, all that remains is true. I kept a ledger etched in bone, names like rivers, debts like stone. I weighed my days on iron scales, told the night my storm-born tales. But metal rust and thunder tires, water beats the tallest spires. What's left behind when the brag is through? A chair, a lamp, a faithful screw, a hinge that sings a house to you. Not much to crown, just much to do. I learned to bless the small of you. When I am done with proving, all that remains is true. Count to 4 with ribs, not pride. Let breathe be the long, clear guide. If memory wants a brighter dew, pour a tea and let it cool. The truth is patient, simple blue. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
no stage, no debt to suit.
just bread
And light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest you.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true. I hung the suit that wore my fear, watched the velvet disappear. Silk can't hold a bending heart, gold can't keep a home from part. I traded heat for humble flame, lost some glory, found a name. I fixed a gate, I fixed my pace, I left a seat at every place. The letters I never found, the time arrived in chores and cleaner lines. A widow smiled the way grief does, half assault and half a trust. The street said thanks, the hinges too. In oiled metal, truth came through. Breathe on forth, let strings lean low, let piano leave space where meanings grow. If pride returns to argue blue, point to the door, it swings like new. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
No stage, no debt to suit.
just bread
And light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest you.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true. I kept a drawer of unmailed lines, apologies stitched to winter vines. Some I sent, the rest I wore inside the coat that learned me more. The mirror edits what shame would sell, leaves the face that fits me well. Not a savior, not a saint, just a man who learned restraint. I count the rooms that made me new, the sink, the porch, the wooden pew, of any chair that held me through. Forgiveness built in grain and glue, no witness needed, nothing due. I breathe, I live, and call it true. Hold that fort till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If thunder begs for one more cue, smile once kindly, you're almost through. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
No stage, no debt to suit.
just bread
And light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder falls, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest you.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all rocks I force for show. I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I held too tight, I'll speak them soft and make them right. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let slide guitar bend once thin, rest, let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a neon view, feed it supper salt and two. If power asks what it should do, make room at tables, keep love true. Say less, stand plain, count to four, remain. A child chalks planets on a walk, orbits held by patient talk. She names the small ones second try, gives it time to learn the sky. Her mother laughs, the light agrees, folds a ribbon on the trees. Across the lane a neighbor calls, fences holding thanks to all. I wave and carry bread inside, let ordinary be my guide. The room receives my working shoes, floorboards hum their honest news. The house exhales a humble cue. When life is this, the world is true. Count to four with a longer trust, let brass breathe warm above the dust. If history asks what's due from you, answer chairs and time and true. And all that remains is true.
No crown,
no stage, no debt to sue.
just bread
And light and work you do. A name that fits a soul that grew. The thunder folds, the day comes through.
I set my hands to honest use.
I am the quiet proof I knew. When all that remains is true.
When all that remains is true. No crown, no stage, no debt to sue.
Right and wide and work you do. Names is how we guess all it out. Low lights, low words, long shadow on the wall. Whiskey swims slow in the glass like a moon who won't fall. Door creaks once, then silence takes the room. Power walks in quiet shoes and rearranges doom. I nod at the band, let the snare breathe deep. Let the bass count money while the city falls asleep. I don't beg the night for favor, I already own the town. You can hear it in the hush, the smoke holds the crown. Silk-tied gunmetal cufflinks, ash on the sleeve, cards on the table and a trick up the weave. Deal stitched in whispers, sewn under the den. Every promise like a razor tucked under the skin. They talk fast, I talk less. Silence does the work while the others confess. Neon bleeds red through the blind thin veins. Outside rain writes my many son names. I keep the ledger like a rosary of sins. Clicker the zipper where forgiveness begins. Slow guitar bends like a threat you don't see. And the room leans forward to breathe with me. I don't gamble what I can take by grace. A smile is a lockpick on an iron face. They bargain with fear, I bargain with time. The clock is a witness that belongs to my mind. I carve my initials in the hours last born. When the saxophone weeps, I'm already home. Cold hands, warm heart, all debts come due. Every oath is a blade, watch how it moves. If you can't hold steady when the city goes dark, you'll never learn to light a fire with a spark. I don't raise my voice to make thunder sound. I let the hush shake walls from the underground. In a room full of kings, I straighten my gown, and every crown remembers who taught it to bow. I don't chase a throne, I just sit one down. The room signs the papers when I look around. No saint, no sinner, just a promise I found. Power speaks in smoke, and the smoke holds the crown. Swallowed by the river, they wanted the drought. Heard prayers get pawned for a bottle and a lie. Watched angels fold wings when the price got high. But me, I learned patience from a trigger that never had to pull, a lesson in restraint from a cup never full. The devil rents rooms on the 7th floor. I sell them quiet and I lock the door. There's a woman with eyes like a witness stand. She reads my past like a smudge on her hand. Says, baby, what breaks you makes the band. I kiss her pulse and I let time land. Street lights blink like a Morse code plea, but mercy's a ledger with a limited C. I don't forgive quick, I forgive once. Write it in ink where the paper won't flinch. If loyalty's a chain, I'm the link they trust. If betrayal's a wind, I'm the weight in the dust. Cold hands, warm heart, keep you breathing slow. Make the room come closer while you barely move. If you can't make silence, do what you choose. You'll never teach thunder how to sing the blues. I don't raise my voice to make thunder sound. I let the hush shake walls from the underground. In a room full of kings, I straighten my gown, and every crown remembers who taught it to bow. I don't chase a throne, I just sit one down. The room signs the papers when I look around. No saint, no sinner, just a promise I found. Power speaks in smoke, and the smoke holds a crown. Pocket, ghosts in a hall, names etched faint on the ledger's crawl. I own what I carry and I carry very light. Just a blade made of patience and a map of the night. Man with loud hands crave a riot's cheer. I buy the silence and I seldom fear. My enemies write letters with invisible ink. By morning they discover what I made them think. I never run, roads run to me. I never beg, doors beg to be free. The piano tells the truth in a minor prayer, while the trumpet signs a treaty with the air. I'm not looking for heaven in a sinner's town. I'm building cathedrals where the lights go down. I tie to the moment, not to the crowd. And the angels, if they listen, keep their heads bowed. Cold hands, warm heart, count to 4. Let the bass be a judge and the snare be the law. If the night is a jury and the dawn is a door, you leave with the verdict that you came here for. I don't raise my voice to make thunder sound. I let the hush shake walls from the underground. In a room full of kings, I straighten my gown, and every crown remembers who taught it to bow. I don't chase a throne, I just sit one down. The room signs the papers when I look around. No saint, no sinner, just a promise I found. Power speaks in smoke, and the smoke holds the crown. Shut, city exhales, slow rain rubs the neon till the letters glow. I leave a tip for the night on a silver tray. Spend it on silence, I hear myself say. Band fades out, last note settles down. Somewhere on my knees and kissing the dawn. Daylight sits quiet on a workbench scar. Dust makes halos with the tools now. Piano breath, a low D chord. My hands remember what they're for. No crowd, no clock that needs a jury. Just honest work with hands. Hammered my youth to a louder law, built fast kingdoms out of raw. The nails looked brave till the boards pulled thin. Speed was a show I kept within. Now I square the wood till corners rest. Let patience choose which cut is best. I sand the edge till the splinters learn that time is a teacher that doesn't burn. I oil the hinge and watch it sing, a quiet arc that spares the spring. The door behaves like a truer story. That's what you get with hands without hurry. Count to 4 on the ribs, not eyes. Let breath be the rule that squares your lies. If pride says faster, smile and defer. What's meant to last prefers the slower. Hands without hurry, they hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. The street outside wears a softer shoe, the kind that walks what it means to do. A neighbor waves with a fence half broke. We trade 2 planks and a lighter yoke. He says I rushed it, I say we've all. Then measure twice so boards don't fall. We share the weight on the end that bites. Leave room for swelling on rainy nights. He breathes like someone who found his floor. I find my peace at his front door. The screw seats slow till threads find glory. Another job done with hands without hurry. Breathe on 4, let the snare stay low. Let piano leave space where meanings grow. If yesterday begs for a faster story, let today reply hands without hurry. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. I've learned the grammar of grain and glue, how oak keeps secrets, how maple's true, how mercy sands down a jagged word, how screws don't strip if your faith's not hurried. I fix a chair where a child will climb, building a rhythm that honors time. My knuckles wear a wiser stain, not blood, not brag, but honest grain. I keep a box of screws I save for days when lack meets love I brave. A measure drawer labeled ordinary glory, a craftsman's gospel hands without hurry. Count to 4 till the pulse sits right. Let strings bow warmth instead of might. If thunder lobbies for its story, let hinges vote for hands without hurry. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. Bring me the locks I slam for show, I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the names I carve too deep, I'll plane them smooth where children sleep. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin, I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let's slide guitar band once and rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory wants a quicker glory, teach it a slower, better story. Say less, stand plain, count to 4, remain. Evening leans through an open frame, paint dries level without a name. I write the date on the windowsill, sign it small so the house stands still. A letter waits with a grateful line, about that table holds just fine. I fold it twice like a carpenter's square, lay it flat and remember there. What I repair repairs me too. The proof is the life that passes through. Soup on Sunday, a story's glory. Feet on floors cured without hurry. Hold that forward, let the rim click fade. Let patience harvest what time has made. If pride asks who will tell your story, I'll point at the doors that open surely. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. No neon needed, no borrowed jury, just work made right by hands without hurry. I touch the bench where a boy will learn, teach him the grain and how clamps turn. He asks why wait if we know it fits, because I say wood has its wits. Because a life is a house you build with edges eased and anger stilled. Because strong isn't fast, it's true. Strong is a door that won't bruise you. He nods like rain when it finds a field. We glue the joint and let it yield. He'll leave today with a simpler story, how men grow tall with hands without hurry. Hands without hurry. Hands without hurry. They hold, they mend, they stay. They make a room sturdy and keep the sharp away. Law neon needed, no borrowed jury. I'm biased, we're hands without hurry. The outer halls gleam like a closing friend. Streams bubble low, immersions in. Treat holds his breath like a locked safe door. Rain scrubs footprints off the floor. Neon forgets the names it spell. Windows keep the secrets they were told to well. Boots land soft, heart beat slow. I pass through the night like I already know. If justice came, it came without poise. No witness, no echo, no noise. I learned to move like a rumor behaves. There for a second, then nothing but waves. A hand on a knob, not a fist on a gate. I buy my time and I sell men fate. Knuckles stay clean in a city of chalk. I ride in steps, not in talk. Shadows salute when the orders need. Law arranged on a silent street. There's a science to mercy, a price to prove, a way to fix leaks in a weathered roof. You plan like rain, you hit like dust. Leave nothing but the sand of trust. No one sees the math I use, just exits open and where I choose. If thunder has to be employed, I send it home. No witness, no noise. Counterfold with a borrowed breath. Fold your rage, let it rest. If truth must walk, let truth avoid the crowded steps of noise. No witness, no noise, just the law of the room. A slow-moving verdict that never blooms. If crowns need thunder to keep their poise, they were never crowns, just noise. I sign with a nod, erase with a choice. The city learns, no witness, no noise.
bench says less. A coat collects the dust it blasts. Two men argue on a sheet of glass. By morning the argument doesn't pass. Not death, not fire, just the end of a thread. A knot undone where fear once bled. I don't chase blood, I chase the source. Turn rivers by an inch of force. This isn't vengeance, it's maintenance paid. The difference between a cut and a blade. A saint would pray, a coward flees. I count to 4 and set men free. From the dead they earn, the lies they deploy. I cancel the volume, no witness, no noise. Breathe in, let the floorboards hold. Let brass keep quiet, the snare grow old. If guilt is heavy, I'll make it a poise, balanced by absence of noise. No witness, no noise, just the law of the room. A slow-moving verdict that never blooms. If crowns need thunder to keep their poise, there were never crowns, just noise. I sign with a nod, a raise with a choice. The city learns, no witness, no noise. She meets me under a sleeping sign. Eyes like a ledger crossing a line. Tell me she whispers with silence buys. Tomorrow I answer without alibis. She touches my sleeve like a lie I can't. Finds only patience finally web. I show her a map with streets turned thin. Paths I've cleared for boys to begin. She says, does mercy leave a stain? I say, not if you teach it rain. I don't stack bodies, I empty the room. I lay down outcomes that don't need a tune. When danger begs for a louder voice, I close the ledger. No witness, no noise. Hold the breath, let the hour decide. Stand where the lesser kings divide. If power's real, it never employs the brittle crutch of noise. No witness, no noise, just the law of the room. A slow-moving verdict that never blooms. If crowns need thunder to keep their poise, they were never crowns, just noise. I sign with a nod, erase with a choice. The city learns, no witness, no noise. Bring me the locks that break without sound. Bring me the dead that never was found. Bring me the blade that cuts like air, leaves no tear and leaves no tear. Bring me the rumor with missing feet. Watch it fade across this street. If justice must sing, let it hum instead. A single note in a careful head. I turn the key where the night employs a simple rule. No witness, no noise. Walk, don't swear. Fix, don't flare. Count to 4. Close the door. Arrival's grin, left fingerprints thin on the glass of a promise I kept within. I didn't answer with a televised noon. I moved the moon and let him swoon. Gave him a job that wore his pride. Let it shrink till truth could rise. Sometimes victory looks like less. A quieter street, a smaller mess. The city sleeps when the math is right. Crime gets tired of losing its sight. I never say done, I never rejoice. I breathe a just, no witness, no noise. Hush the brass, let the strings abstain. Hold the snare like a patient vein. If order needs a steady voice, it speaks as like a noise. No.
Morning folds open like a careful hand. Piano on the sill, light dust on the land. Kettle takes breath, street yawns away. There's nothing to chase, nothing to fade. I set down the armor, I walk through the rain, and hear it, the calm calling my name. I've bartered with thunder, I've counted to 4. I've taught a locked city to love a soft door. I've carried a silence that sharpened the blade, and set it all down when the debt had been paid. Now every step has a weight that's kind, measured and honest, a friend to the spine. I don't need applause in a rented room. The daylight signing is praise enough bloom. The coffee is simple, the ledger is clean. I tally by mercy, not by the sheen. Where noise once begged for a louder claim, the wind writes gently, repeating my name. Count to 4 with the ribs, not pride. Let bread be the long, clear guide. If memory knocks with a neon flame, I answer with quiet. I know my name. The calm knows my name. It meets me at the door. It lifts the cup, it sets the frame. It teaches less is more. No trumpet to proclaim, no crown that needs a floor. I live where light is plain. The calm knows my name. I'm walking the block the way fathers do, carrying daylight like good men choose. I oil a hinge that no one will praise, sweep a small step for ordinary days. A boy rides past with a crooked grin, learning the breaks that hold trouble in. His mother smiles a thank you thin. We trade a nod and that's a win. I used to love like a spark on straw, too hot to hold, too quick to draw. Now love's a river in a patient bed, cooler than fire, warmer than dread. I set 2 plates, keep one for the rain. When weather needs shelter, it knows my name. Breathe on 4, let strings lean low, let piano leave space where truths can grow. If pride returns for an old campaign, I pour a tea, it forgets my name. The calm knows my name. It meets me at the door. It lifts the cup, it sets the frame. It teaches less is more. No trumpet to proclaim, no crown that needs a floor. I live where light is plain. The calm knows my name. There's a chair that forgives the weight I bring, a lamp that edits the stain from things. On a wall, a map of slower roads where patience pays and hurry owes. I've learned to repair what I used to replace, to bless with hands instead of haste. I keep small tools where anger hid, a screwdriver where judgment did. The hinge in me learned how to swing towards the hard truth and the truest spring. If grief needs room, I'll make it a lane. It passes through kindly,
says my name. Count to 4 till the heart stands sure. Let quiet be strong and good be pure. If yesterday asked for a harsher aim, I write forgiven next to my name. The calm knows my name. It meets me at the door. It lifts the cup, it sets the frame. It teaches less is more. No trumpet to proclaim, no crown that needs a floor. I live where light is plain. The calm knows my name. Bring me the locks I force for show. I'll oil them now and let them go. Bring me the words I threw like stone. I'll speak them soft and make them home. Bring me the miles I sprinted thin. I'll walk them back with broader skin. Let the guitar bend once and rest. Let bass keep time inside the chest. If victory begs for a neon flame, point it to supper, bread and name. If power asks what it's for at last, to keep the future kind to the past. Say less, stand plain. Count to 4, remain. A neighbor's fence needs a measured hand. I lend the hour, not a brand. We talk of rain and the price of wheat, the sort of kingdom I trust my feet. He tells me loss in a quiet pitch. I answer by listening where ache is rich. No sermon spills, no banner flies, just cleaner air behind our eyes. We sign the day with a humble pen, a treaty of ordinary men. When dusk arrives with a cooler flame, a sparrow repeats it, the sound of my name. Hold that 4, let the snare stay shy. Let brass breathe low like a faithful sigh. If glory calls from a louder frame, I wait once kindly. I know my name. The calm knows my name. It meets me at the door. It lifts the cup, it sets the frame. It teaches less is more. No trumpet to proclaim, no crown that needs a floor. I live where light is plain. The calm knows my name. 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 The calm knows my name.
The rain don't lie, it tells the truth of trust misplaced and wasted youth. The night don't talk, she just observes how love can twist what it deserves. The air feels thick with sweet denial, the kind that hides a knife behind the smile. In the dark she nods, she's seen this trial. She spoke like wine, I drank too fast, believed each word would surely last. Her eyes a mirror, too kind to read, her lips a prayer I didn't heed. Every promise came wrapped in silk, soft as mercy, sharp as guilt. And though she swore to to stay a while. There was a knife behind her smile. The truth don't scream, it just appears between two lies and quiet tears. I found her safe on a stranger's skin, felt my heartbeat cave within. The bed felt cold though the night was warm. The storm outside became a form. The silence laughed, I lost my style to the knife behind her smile. No preacher preaches this kind of sin. When love cuts deep and bleeds within, you can't confess what's half your blame. You just drink down the taste of shame. The mirror shows what I can't deny. A man too proud to even cry. And though forgiveness walks a mile, it limps behind that smile. So pour one for the fool who believed her eyes, who thought that heaven don't disguise. He laughs slow, he hurts in style, 'cause there's a knife behind the smile. It glows like fate, it feels like sin, cuts from the heart, not from the skin. I ain't seeking truth or trial, just the knife behind the smile. I burned her letters in the sink, watched love turn smoke before I blinked. Each word curled soft and turned to ash, like time erasing every flash. Her name still hums when I close my eyes, a ghost that no goodbye denies. And though I've walked 1,000 miles, I still feel the knife behind her smile. I caught my face in the window stare, a broken man pretending care. I lied to friends, said I'd moved on, but pain plays slow, it ain't gone. The blues don't heal, it just refines, turns wounds to rhythm, tears to line. And though I play it cool a while, it bleeds that knife behind her smile. The man in the mirror speaks too plain, says, boy, you fed the fire with blame. He don't sneer, he don't accuse, he just counts the debts I choose. He says she ain't cruel, she's just the truth. You loved her edge, not her proof. And in that hush of self-denial, he points to the knife behind the smile. I saw her once by the riverside. She turned away but didn't hide. Her silence said more than I could bear. Her calm was colder than the air. She smiled soft, then looked away. I swear that grin still cuts today. No mercy left to reconcile, just that knife behind the smile. Pour one for the man who learned too late that love and pain share the same fate.
He hums low, he bleeds in style, 'cause there's a knife behind the smile. Raise your glass to the ones who trust, to every heart that turns to dust. No glory left, no trial, just the knife behind the smile. The night hums low, the truth breathes deep. Every promise I made won't sleep. I strum the wound, I taste the rain, playing her name through every pain. Each note I bend bleeds pure and vile. It sings that knife behind her smile. And when the smoke fills